Time to get cozy. Time to get comfortable.
I think I need some time away. I took a little time. I pray we gon' be alright. Okay, alright. Okay, alright. Okay.
Hey love, welcome back to my channel. It's Kendra Asi and I'm happy to be back on your screen. Now, as you already know from the title, we are talking about my favorite books of 2022. Now, according to Goodreads, I've read 57 books last year, and you guys know I was aiming for 100 books, so it was a little bit of a bummer, but at the same time, as long as we're reading, that's all that matters. All right, now before we get into the video and before we get into all the good stuff, please do yourself a favor and give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe because it's free.
It's free real estate.
And like I say in every other video, we're new, but we're on our way. So go ahead, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Now let's get started into the video. The first book on the list is Continuum by Danielle Allen. Now this book, girl, this book was crazy. It just made me feel like all different, and excuse me if I'm looking down, I have like all of my notes, but this book, it just did everything for me. It gave me all different kinds of emotions. I gave this book 5 stars, but there were like parts that made me sad. There were parts that made me scream by how spicy it was, girl. It was spicy. But overall, like, I was rooting for Kwame and Aisha the entire time because the relationship truly showed, like, if someone is meant for you, it's gonna work out no matter what. Like, whether, you know, that be a romantic relationship or a friendship, no matter what, it's gonna work out. So I was rooting for them. I was like, they got it. They got it. So I love that book. I'm definitely gonna end up buying that book in the future to add it to my my library, but that book was so good. So definitely check that one out. And also, we need to know, Angel, like, is that you, girl? Because, girl, we need to know if it's you. We need to know. Daniel, send me an email. Let me know if that's Angel. I just need to know in my heart if that was her or not. I just need to know. Now, the next book on this list is Homebody by Ruby Kaur. I love her so much. Like, her writing is so, it just does something to your soul. My favorite quote in the book was, "I'm careful about who I spend my energy on. I know my worth." I'm gonna read it again. "I'm careful about who I spend my energy on. I know my worth." Girl, this book was everything, okay? I love Ruby's work because she really channels like the thoughts that you have in your head, and then like sometimes if you're like an overthinker like myself, or you feel like really overwhelmed at times, she really like gets, like, she speaks to your inner self, if that makes sense. Like, you can just feel her passion, you can feel like everything. Like, she just speaks with so much heart and love, and I just all of her books, all of them, they're just so good. But Homebody, that was the book. That was a very good read for me. Next book on the list is The Tea Dragon Society by Kay O'Neill. Now, that series in itself is so cute, you guys. Like, oh my gosh, like, they're literally dragons named after tea. Like chamomile, jasmine, ginger. Like, they're just so cute. Like, they just look like, if they had plushies for them, I probably would buy all of them. I'm just saying. I would like, Kay O'Neill, if you're listening and you're thinking about coming out with plushies, like, let me know, because I will be first one online to purchase because they're just so cute. Okay, so why didn't anyone tell me that the plushies were already out? Now, I read the first, I read all three of them, but the first book was my favorite. It was just like, I was just smiling from like beginning to end, and it was just so like it was just so cute. Like, and don't get me wrong, like the second and third volume were really nice, but it was just nothing better than the first volume. It was just so good. I couldn't resist. The next book on the list, I think we're up to book number 4. So it's Black Girl Call Home by Jasmine Mans. I'm gonna read a quote from that book, and then you let me know. Let me just read it. Maybe God leaves stretch marks on women to direct us home. Marinate on that. Jasmine, she just did it. She just did what needed to be done, because this book, I read this book actually in February of 2022, and it was just like, don't get me wrong, like February is Black History Month, but every month is Black History Month, okay?
I know that's right.
So this book, like the poems were just so like insightful, so much passion. The purpose of that book, I feel like, was just to like remind you that do not allow society to put what they think you should be or what they think you should have, or what like what society just tries to fill in your mind and make you feel about yourself. Like, just know, like, whatever you bring to the table is more than enough. Okay, don't let anyone try to tell you, oh, you need to do this or you need to do that, or oh, because you're a person of color, like you can't be seen in this space or that space. Like, no, you're in the room for a reason. So this book just kind of like seals the deal, and lets you know that you're worth it, and you're someone of value, and that you're worthy of being in a space and worthy of taking up space. Okay, in case you didn't know. Now the next book on the list is number 5. This book is Oh Sis, You're Pregnant: The Ultimate Guide to Black Pregnancy and Motherhood by Shanicia Boswell. Now, before I get into the review, no, I'm not pregnant, not yet, but this book was amazing, okay? Not only for the simple fact of like just knowledge and educational purposes, but it just makes you feel like I can do this. You know, like when that time comes, like it gave me so much like power, you know. And I think because we hear so much about like Black maternal death rates that go on in the US, we as women of color, we may feel like, oh, like I don't know, like when that time comes, like, you know, am I gonna be safe? Like, am I gonna be knowledgeable enough to know, you know, what I'm entitled to, what I'm not entitled to, like what are my options? And it was just such a powerful read. The thing about it, like Shanicia, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, but she literally broke down every option for you, like every thought, every trigger, everything that you may like that may come across your mind with, you know, welcoming, you know, a new child, and like what that process looks like from the moment you find out you're pregnant to the day you deliver, like, and everything in between. She broke down every single aspect. The other part that she really touched on was just what it means to just like, she was just very transparent with the way that she delivered the information. And another thing that I learned from this book, not only just like the multiple options of ways that you can deliver your child, but also in the fact that you can take your placenta home with you, even if you deliver your baby in a hospital. I had no idea. Like, I did not know that that was an option. As long as you bring like a legit like cooler, not like just a Ziploc bag in your purse, girl, don't do that, but a legit cooler, you have ice, you know, it's like something that can easily be like contained. You can take your placenta home with you, and you can Google it and do your own research, but your placenta has a lot of nutritions and a lot of diseases and illnesses and cures for a lot of sicknesses. A lot of the nutrients are in the placenta, and a lot of people don't know that. So your placenta is gold, girl. So take your placenta, it's yours. You pushed it out, okay? Like, it came out of your body, so you can take it. And other thing that some women may not know, you can turn your placenta into pills, so you can, you know, still get all the nutrients from it. Some women may feel like weird about that, which is fine, but it is something that we all should be educated on, because, you know, why not know about what you're entitled to? So that was like the premise of that book, was like knowing what you're entitled to, knowing what you are able to just what you're able to have, and all the options that are out there for you, and all the resources that are out there for you. Even if you feel like, I'm by myself, I don't have family, I don't have friends, like, you know, what can my partner do to help in this situation? Or, you know, what can cousin so-and-so or friend so-and-so, like, you know, how do I build my own community, or things like that. Or like, she just gave all of everything, like every thought that might have came through your head, she put it in this amazing book. I will definitely be reading it, you know, when that time comes and my husband and I are blessed to have a baby, because it's just so good. And it's just empowering to know that she took her time. You can tell that she took her time, and she did a lot of research on it. So I'm so grateful, and I loved it. That was a great book for this year. The next book on the list is number 6, and it's Every Day Isn't Perfect. Change Begins With You First, by Dr. K.L. Register. Now, I was in such an interesting space when I read this book, but it allowed me to see that everything that I've ever wanted in life, ever desired, ever encountered, all starts with me. Not in the sense that bad things don't happen to people or things like that, but you can alter the outcome of certain situations by how you respond to them. Not all the time, but most of the time you can alter different things that you experience, whether that may be good or bad. And Dr. Register's perspective on how you can start every day with a new mindset, with a new perspective, and going into different scenarios and different situations with a clear conscience, and knowing that I am who I am, and because something happened that I didn't like at, I don't know, 10 a.m. doesn't mean at 2 p.m. my whole day is bad. You know, like, I can change between 10 and 2, something in that window of time, to make the rest of my day flow the way I want it to flow. And I completely resonated with that, and I held on to that so much. A quote that I really appreciated was, "A smile doesn't mean everything in your life is perfect. It just means you are thankful for the imperfect life you have." This book like reset everything I ever thought about, you know, how time is so precious, and how you don't have to make a bad day feel like you have a bad life. You know, you can alter situations, you can alter the way you think, and you can become new each and every day. So I did end reading volume 2 as well. that was another good read. That one is like Joy Comes in the Morning is the volume 2. And the quote from there was, "Look for the good in every situation that presents itself. Some of the worst experiences can teach you the greatest lessons." You can just, you can tell Dr. Register was very vulnerable in her writing. She was very transparent, and the whole idea of allowing every situation in your life to teach you something. It may be hard, it may be tough, but you're worthy of relearning things about yourself, and we're always changing each and every day, so don't be too hard on yourself either. Also, another point that she made was like, just because you've been living your life in such a way for so long, you may be really comfortable in that space, but that doesn't mean that's where you have to stay. You can change your life today. You do not have to be known as a certain individual because you've been living that way for so long. You can change in this moment right now and become a new person. Do not let society make you feel like, oh, I've been doing this for X amount of years, like this is all I'll ever be. No, you can change today. So I really appreciated that. The next book on this list is number 7, and it's Evidence of an Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now this book is a must read. I literally finished it in one day. It was very short chapters, which you know we love, girl. We love short chapters. And this book helped me get out of a reading slump. I was in a reading slump a little bit in 2022, and this snatched me right on out of it.
Yes.
I was like, I was just eating that book up. It was so good. It was very fast-paced. It was engaging. I love that you can see like everyone's perspective, like multiple POVs. Like it was so good. So I really appreciated that book. It was amazing. Now number 8 is Uzumaki by Junji Ito. This book was 653 pages, you guys. Like it was so long, but I literally read it in one day. Okay, it was so good. Like it was like a little spooky, like it was kind of creepy at times. It was like, oh my gosh, like that looks crazy, like why are they turning into those things? But it was so good. Like it was like just the art style of it. I really liked just like the layout. It was like a different style for me, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. It's definitely something out of my comfort zone, but the art style, the writing, like it was very, very entertaining to read. So I think that if you guys are looking for something to read during like October, like, you know, when it starts getting into that spooky season, that's definitely a book that you may want to pick up for sure. The next book on this list is number 9, and it's Grown by Tiffany Jackson. Now the quote that I must read from this book is, Malcolm X said it best: the most disrespected woman in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman. This quote truly embodies what this book really is, and it was engaging from beginning to end. The storyline was a little bit disheartening because it happens, like the idea of like women and young girls going into the music industry and feeling like, oh, this is my time to shine, this is my, you know, my opportunity to really make it, and then they end up getting taken advantage of, or you know, people just see like someone that's so passionate and so desperate to really make it that they, you know, they take advantage of them, and then they don't really get what they truly desire. It's sad. It's so sad that so many young girls, things like that happen to them. You know, they go into the music industry and they think they're gonna be good, but it doesn't always end up that way. And so if you're thinking about, you know, the artists that went through all of that, and you know, that whole case, this book is basically that storyline of that, just that idea of a young girl meeting one of her favorite artists and, you know, just getting so wrapped up in like, oh my gosh, like I'm hanging out with him, and oh my gosh, like he's texting me, and oh my gosh, like this and the third, and it doesn't end up being what she expected. So if you are interested in that kind of story, check for trigger warnings before you read it, but definitely check it out. Now, number 10 is The One by John Mars. This book was so intriguing. It was a page turner. It kept me interested. It kept me engaged. It had multiple POVs. The chapters weren't super long. I was just like all over the place. It's like that book was so good. And I actually the reason why I found that book is because you know, I don't know if Kindle does it anymore actually, but last year there were like these different challenges that they would have. I think it was like a summer challenge, and then there was like a fall like there was like different challenges that you can. This was on the list of books for like science fiction, and I was like, I don't really read science fiction books, but I was like, let me check it out. And this book was good. It was just about like this app that connects you to people that are like you, and you are like, they're just people that you wouldn't expect that would match up with you and things like that. And I don't want to share too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but the fact that I can't even, you're just gonna have to read it for yourself. I can't even, like what I want to share, it may give the whole story away, but just know that book is not what you're expecting. It's not something that's gonna be super boring or seem really like, oh, this is really a lot of science. Like, no, it's not that at all. It is suspense. It has like, it definitely has that page turner type of style, so I really recommend checking that out. And it's also, I think the name, it's also, they also turned into a Netflix show. I think it's called The One. So if you want to read the book and watch the Netflix show, you could do that. I actually haven't watched the show just yet. I have so many shows on my watch list, so Lord only knows when I'll get to that, but it was definitely worth the read for sure. I enjoyed the book. I'm not sure if the show is gonna hold as much weight because the book was so good, so it really like set the bar for me that I'm kind of like, I don't even know if I want to watch the show because I don't want to ruin it for myself and feel like I got let down. But the book was phenomenal, so if you want to check out the book, I definitely recommend it. Now, number 11 is A Life Worth Living by Jerry Lang. This book was so short, but it was so impactful. It made me rethink every aspect of my life. Just the number one question that book basically focused on was, will this matter 100 years from now? And if you think about that question and you think about different things that you may have wanted to do, or things that you might have, maybe you had a regret, or maybe you were really upset about something that someone did to you, and it made you reflect like, oh wow, like so-and-so did this to me, like will this matter 100 years from now? Like, it makes you think about that, and then you sit back and you're like, no, it's not really gonna matter. Like, you know, like it's not really gonna affect me. It's not gonna do anything. Maybe like you get really upset in the moment, but when you look back, it's not gonna matter. You're just gonna go on with your life, and you're just gonna like be like, oh, noted, like, okay, like I see where you stand and this, that, and that. Like, it's cool. This book helped me to like truly think about like what it is that I love, and to just go at it like full force and do it more. I know I shared that in like I think my Drive With Me video of just like thinking about what you love to do and do it more. Like that has been on repeat in my head for so long, especially during the year of 2022. Just like not allowing anything to stop me, not allowing anything to hold me back, but just going at it full force and just like, girl, you got one life to live. Like you just got to do it. And that has been like the caption. I don't know if it's really the caption because it's like my life isn't social media, but I guess like the message. I don't know, my camera stopped, but all in all, like just authentically being myself, no matter what life may throw my way. But as long as I'm being myself, that's all that matters. And as long as I'm staying true to myself, that's all that matters. So if today I want to do something and tomorrow I want to do something else, so what? Like life is too short to live in a box. Life is too short to live in a bubble. You gotta live. You have to live. So this book was so good. I even had my mom to end up buying it too, because that's how good it was. Like I was like, girl, you need this in your library. Like, you know, there's some books that you're like, this is a book that I'm definitely gonna reread. Like, and it also had questions that you can ask yourself after every chapter. So it's like self-reflection. And if you like to journal like myself, all of the journal prompts, like there was a plethora to choose from. So if you love to journal and you want a book that is gonna make you like get into some deep space, do some shadow work and all of that, like this book is that book. Okay, now the next book is Queenie by Candace Cardi Williams. Now that book was so good. That book helped me to realize how to let go and like to not live with so much structure, but to just have fun and to live in the moment. Sometimes I think we can get so caught up in allowing our lives to be like one way all the time, and like you just have to let go. You have to be loose. It was just truly an exceptional read. There were moments that made me laugh. There were moments that made me sad. You know, pulled on some heartstrings as well, because I just felt like I can tell like Queenie really just wanted to be a better person all around. Like she just really wanted to feel something different and be someone different. And I don't know if this is I don't know if I'm talking to, maybe I'm just talking to myself with all these books that I read about self-help and living my full authentic self. But just the idea that therapy is really important. And we may think like, especially in like the Black community, like a lot of times, you know, growing up, nobody talks about going to therapy. No one talks about mental health. It's just not a common conversation. Not that it's so much like we don't think it's important, but it's just not something that was common, you know. And I think now in this day and age, it's even more so a part of the conversation. It's even more common that people are getting, you know, therapy, and people are reaching out to get different reaching out to different mental health services to really like get all those resources to better their mental state. And I think it's so beautiful that we're comfortable talking about it and we're comfortable having those conversations, because years ago our ancestors probably would have never even considered, you know, thinking about that stuff and thinking about how important it was to go to therapy. But it is so uplifting to know that our generation is like changing the game and really like making a mark and letting it be known that like, hey, like this is important, you know. And I love that. I love that so much. Now the next book on this list is Something Good by Vanessa Miller. Now, I have to read a quote from this book. Looking from her table to the next, Trish was once again amazed at the people who were now in her circle, all because she called out to God in her darkest hour. Her eyes lifted heavenward. God, you are a wonder worker. this book took me on a whirlwind of emotions. Okay, I was rooting for Trish, I was rooting for Alexis, I was rooting for Marquita. I was like, it was like I was just rooting for all of them. Just the fact that it just took you on a roller coaster, the way Trish was with her husband, and like the way Alexis was with her husband, and then like just Marquita with the baby, and then everybody was just like, we're not gonna let this situation destroy what God can do, you know. Like, it was a very traumatic situation with the car accident, and just the fact that everybody was like, you know what, this is very, like, it's very traumatic, it's very sad, but God can make something great out of it. And the fact that they were able to like all rally together and come out even stronger in the end, it was such a beautiful read. I love, first of all, I love when Trish was dancing in the room and blasting the gospel music. Yo, this book made me laugh so many times, especially Trish. I think Trish was my favorite character because when she would blast the gospel music, when her husband would piss her off, it was so funny. Because I could just imagine, like, just the way that she was like, nobody's stopping my praise. Like, she went off. Like, she was so funny. So that book was wild. Like, I loved it. It was so good. Now, the next book on this list is Sakura by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Now, I did not want this story to end, you guys. I did not. It was so, like, when I finished this book, I was like, that's it. Like, I need a part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, honey.
Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you.
Because I was just, this book pulled on my heartstrings. Like, I just wanted it to keep going. Like, this book, like, just kind of like re-emphasizes what it means to be a woman in today's society, like what that actually looks like, what it is that, you know, what it is that women bring to the table, and knowing that you can't let anyone, you know, dictate who you are, who you're meant to be, girl. Like, no, you cannot let anybody tell you who you are at all. And just the idea that society will try to take things from us as women, but we have to remind, like, this is mine. Like, no. And taking our control back. That's basically what this book was aligned to. So I loved it. I did not want that story to end. It was so good. So and this book wasn't that long either, so check it out. Now, the next book is Year of Yes, How to Dance It Out, Stand in the Sun, and Be Your Own Person by Shonda Rhimes. Now, we all know Miss Rhimes, her lovely self. She is the writer for Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, Private Practice. Like, the girl she be writing. So this book, oh my gosh, it was so good. I'm definitely gonna be rereading it again. I don't know if I'm gonna reread it in 2023, but definitely like in the future, because it just, like, it was such a like comforting read, because 2022 was such a hard year for me. Like, I cried so much, not out of like frustration, but more so out of like different transitions happened, and like, you know, really being an adult, and then being married, and then like moving here and doing this and doing that, and then like out of like, there were times that I cried out of sadness, but then times that I've cried out of joy, because I was just so grateful for like everything that I've been able to accomplish and everything that I've been able to do. And then just the idea of like just Shonda just sharing how like there were times where she just had to say yes, like forget saying like, oh no, like I can't do this, or oh no, I can't do that, and not in a sense of like being like a stickler and like feeling like, oh no, like this is against my morals and values, but the idea is like, what's the worst that can happen if you say yes, you know? Obviously if it goes against, you know, who you are in your most intimate self, obviously you have to say yes. Obviously you're gonna have to say no because it's not aligned with who you are. But if it's not gonna hurt you, it's not gonna harm you, if it takes you a little bit out of your comfort zone, say yes. And I just appreciated this book. I appreciated how she was just so transparent about with her experience with being a mom and adopting her children and feeling like she wasn't capable and feeling like she wasn't capable of having the job that she has. Like, yes, Miss Rhymes, the one that writes all of the shows that everyone loves to watch, you know? So it was just crazy. Like, someone in her shoes was just so hesitant to do different things and so like conscious of like what mark she was making and things like that. So it just really goes to show, like, you never know who's going through the same things that you're going through. You may see people in the media, you may see people on TV and you feel like, oh, like so-and-so is doing this and so-and-so is doing that, like they're living the good life, but you don't really know. And we don't really know everyone's story until we actually speak to them. So don't take everything for face value. But live in the moment. That's a major thing I got from this book, was to live in the moment and be happy and be joyful. Okay, now I have some honorable mentions. The next one is It's Gotta Be You by Kimberly Brown. Now this book, I was like, Zenny and Idris were made for each other, okay? Like, they were in fact made for each other. And I say that because like it just literally made Zenny feel like a queen every single time, honey. Like every single time, no matter what, he was like, you're my queen, and that's it on that. And that goes to show, ladies, like if you are thinking about getting into a relationship or you're thinking about, you know, giving somebody a piece of your time, if they don't treat you like a queen, girl, run to the door. Okay, like we're not wasting time in 2023. Okay, we're not doing that. And I just love that he was like, no, like I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna be there for you, I'm gonna be down for you. Like I just loved it so much, and it just helped me feel like, oh, warm, because I'm like, oh, my husband does this, like, oh my gosh, my husband does that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just feel like I was just rooting for them. I was like, they got it, they got it. So ladies, like, make sure anybody that's taking any bit of your time, making sure that they are treating you like a queen that you are, okay? So, and don't settle for less, because we're not settling in 2023. We're not settling ever. Forget forever, not just 2023 in life. We are not settling, okay, at all. So the next and last book on this list is Vinyl Moon by Mahogany Brown. And the quote that I loved so much from this book was, well, my teacher says whatever book that makes you feel like you are home can be a classic. I truly appreciated this book because a lot of times people feel like, oh, if I read this, I only can read like these certain books are considered classics. And the honest truth is, like, just because a book is like labeled as a classic doesn't mean you have to read it, you know? And if a book is not giving you life, if a book is not like feeding into your inner self, isn't giving you joy, isn't making you go whoop de whoop whoop, girl, you can put it down. Like, you could put it down, put it to the side and read something else. Do not feel like, oh, I have to read this book because everybody has it on their TBR and everybody talks about it on Book Talk and everybody talks about it on BookTube, but this, that, and the third. Like, do not feel like you have to read a book because everyone else is reading it. If it's not giving you life, put it down, put it to the side and read something else. Life is too short to read boring books, okay? If you don't take anything else from this video, take that. Life is too short to read boring books. So if it's not giving you life, if it's not feeding into your soul, put it down, put it to the side, and read something else, okay? All right, you guys, so that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got any recommendations from this video, I'm so glad and I'm so appreciative, because I definitely had a great reading year in 2022, and I'm so excited to see what books I read in 2023. It's only up from here, because I have so many books I want to read in 2023, and I'm just really looking forward to it, and seeing, you know, what the new year has to offer. Also, if you have any book recommendations or books that you read in 2022 and you think that I should check them out, leave a comment down below and let me know what books you enjoyed, or what books you loved, or what books make you do that, you know what I'm saying, like make you feel some emotions, or gave you suspense, gave you excitement, gave you energy, whether it was a fiction book, a self-help book, romance, anything, you know, like just if a book gave you like so much joy, leave a comment down below and let me know what book it is so I can go ahead and check it out as well. But without further ado, please give this video a thumbs up, please subscribe, because as of right now we are rocking at 37 subscribers, and we can definitely have some more, okay? Like, come on, join, and I'm giving you a hug, like I just gave you a hug, girl. You gotta subscribe. I just gave you a hug. So go ahead and click subscribe and come back, because we are new, but we are on our way, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.